What's up everybody, Tech Chucker here today, and we're gonna review the Batroc from the Thanos wave. Alrighty, so let's take a quick look at the packaging. You can see the front, it's pretty standard Marvel Legends packaging. Nothing too extraordinary here. Here's a quick look at the side. Here's a quick look at the back. You can go ahead and pause it here and we'll take a closer look at the description. Alrighty, and the other side of the package. Alright, let's crack this guy open and take a closer look. Alrighty, let's talk articulation. So, Batroc has a ball joint right in the head, as well as a hinge joint in the neck. It's really loose on mine. I don't know if it's loose for everybody, but mine's really loose. You can see it kind of bobs around. But he can look up pretty good, and he can look down really well, so that's really good. Shoulder joints, it's on a ball joint here. He can raise his arms pretty high, which is nice. See if that focuses. Alright, and then he can raise his arms up, and that's unratcheted. You can probably hear that in there. And then you've got a standard bicep swivel. It works really well, looks nice. Double jointed elbows, just about folds all the way in half, which is good. Wrists are on a peg joint, and then a hinge joint, which works really well. Looks really nice too. Alright, so torso articulation is also quite good. He can ab crunch pretty well, so no complaints there. Back arch is decent. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And then you get a waist swivel, which, you know, if you turn it quite a bit, it looks kind of cruddy, kind of weird. There's nothing really to hide that. But not a lot that I think you can get around that with. And in the hips, we've got T-jointed hips, and he can, do pretty decent splits. It's not all the way, but it's pretty darn good. Really good forward kick. Let's see if you can see that. That's really quite good. I'm pretty happy with that. Backwards is okay. If you start pushing it too much, it starts, angling out, but that's okay. It's better than a lot of the figures that we get. Upper thigh swivel, you're going to get a pretty big cut here, so I mean, at least there's no paint to break that up, but it does look a little funny, but not a big deal. Double jointed knees, pretty good, can't complain there. And then there is a shin swivel. I'm not a big fan of it, it kind of looks ugly. But it's there. And then the ankles, the foot moves up about that much, moves down really well. I'm really happy with that. And then there is an ankle rocker, and that works really well as well. So overall, really solid. I mean, it's a heavily used body mold, so you're going to get good articulation out of it. It's overall is really good articulation. I'm super happy with it. All right, let's talk sculpt. It's a really good. It's a nice sculpt. It's a heavily reused sculpt. As far as I know, most all of this is a reused sculpt of some sort, except for the head sculpt, which is what I probably should talk about most, because this is a really cool head sculpt. I really like it. We'll see if we can focus in. It just looks really cool. There's the mustache, which looks really awesome. It's really well done. It's kind of soft here, so it does flex a little bit. Luckily in the package it didn't get all bent weird. And then these little eye mask pieces, they're actually sticking out, which is really cool. Let's see if you can see that. So the head sculpt wise, it really looks like the comic character. So that aspect I'm really, really happy about. The rest of it, I mean, it's a good body mold for this character. There's just nothing too unique about it. So, which is fine because it's an awesome figure. All right, let's talk paint apps because there's some good and there's some bad. So the good, the face, they did a really good job. If you can see that here, they just did a really solid job on the face paint. It's relatively clean. There is a little bit of bleeding. You're probably not going to be able to see that, but overall, they did a good job on the head. The lines, for the most part, are clean, at least on mine. There are a few areas like in the neck where it gets a little bit, it's bleeding a little bit into the gold here. I like the gold. They did really good. The lines are you know, like I said, they're clean. So I don't have a lot of complaints here. I do wish that they would have done a little bit of a black wash on the head, in the back of the head. There's some really nice sculpt here, but you just can't see it because there's no paint application there. Pretty much that's throughout the gold. It'd be nice if there was some shading somewhere, but overall it's still a really well painted figure. All right, let's talk sculpt. It's a really good. It's a nice sculpt. It's a heavily reused sculpt. As far as I know, most all of this is a reused sculpt of some sort, except for the head sculpt, which is what I probably should talk about most because this is a really cool head sculpt. I really like it. We'll see if we can focus in. It just looks really cool. There's the mustache, which looks really awesome. It's really well done. It's kind of soft here, so it does flex a little bit. Luckily in the package it didn't get all bent weird. And then these little eye mask pieces, they're actually sticking out, which is really cool. Let's see if you can see that. So the head sculpt wise, it really looks like the comic character. So that aspect I'm really, really happy about. The rest of it, I mean, it's a good body mold for this character. There's just nothing too unique about it. So, which is fine because it's an awesome figure. All right, last but not least, let's talk accessories. We get none. There's no additional hands. There's no weapons. There is nothing else that comes with him except for the back part, which is the torso of Thanos. So Hasbro really kind of failed there. This is a really standard figure. There's nothing. There's no additional. There's no belts or anything. Which maybe the figure doesn't need that, but when he's that simple, an accessory of some sort, additional hands, maybe a different head sculpt, that would have been really, really nice. Instead, they didn't give it to us. So overall, this is a really solid figure. The figure itself, the character, the likeness, it's all spot on for the most part. Paint apps could have been a little bit better. Obviously, I'd love to have had more accessories, but they did a really good job. I wouldn't pay retail for this guy. I think I paid about $10 for him new in the box, which is probably about where you should be at, between 10 and 15 bucks. Especially since he's been out for quite some time now. A lot of people are using him for customs because the body is such a good body mold. So he is a little harder to find out in the wild, but you can still find him on Amazon. Alright, so make sure you subscribe, and we'll be seeing a lot more toy reviews, especially of the Marvel Legends, so stay tuned.
Tetris Breed.